Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing well today, and in this video I am going to be making some English muffins and I'm going to show you how I do it. So I will have the recipe down below in the description box if you want to take a look, but I will go ahead and start. The first thing that we'll be doing is taking the dry ingredients and mixing it into a medium-sized bowl, and I have a whisk and we're just going to start doing that. So I'm going to be looking down here at my phone for the ingredients. So we need 2.5 cups of flour, that was just about what I needed. And now we'll be adding a 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. Let me just get a bag. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I will mix this up. Okay, and then I'm going to just set that aside, and now we're going to focus on the wet ingredients. Okay, so we're going to be adding 2/3 cup of milk, and for this I have a different bowl, a separate bowl, because we're going to be placing this into the microwave afterwards. So we're going to be putting all of this into here, and then we're going to need a 1/2 cup of water. And then we'll need, yes, 1 tablespoon of butter. So I'm just going to kind of place this in here. Yeah, that's fine. Microwave this for 15 to 30 seconds. We want this to be lukewarm. We do not want it to get too hot, or else you're going to kill the yeast. So we're going to put this in the microwave probably for maybe a little less than 15, because we kind of have a powerful microwave. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, and we want to make sure that we don't over mix it and that it's going to be quite soft and sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and just add these. Okay, that's good. I don't want to mix it anymore. I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't too dry. Okay, so now this is the part where we have to let this rest. So I'm gonna go and get some saran wrap so I can cover this up. Okay, and then I am just going to place a towel over top, and we're gonna be letting this sit for about 12 to 18 hours. And if you wanna keep it covered for 18 hours, they recommend to then refrigerate it. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And when the time is ready, then I'll come back and we'll finish up making these English muffins. So the first thing that I'm doing here is covering the counter with some flour, and then I'll be placing the dough on top, and then I'll cover that with a dishcloth, and I'm gonna let that rest for about 10 minutes. After the dough is done resting, I will then roll out the dough using my fingers, and the website recommends the dough to be around 2 centimeters thick. And then next I am going to be adding a little bit more flour on top, and then I cut the dough as if I'm cutting pizza. They do say that if you have a circle cookie cutter to use that, but I do not have that, so I'm doing it this way. And then once I have them in the triangle shape, what I do is I try and tuck the corners underneath and do my best to create a circle. Then I'm going to place the dough onto a tray with parchment paper. Looking back, I have noticed that I could have made the cuts of the triangles a little bit smaller so that I could have gotten more muffins out of it. But this was my first time doing it, and I plan on doing it again because it was very easy, and everything that comes after this, it's very simple. Once I finished placing all the dough onto the tray, I then am going to put a plastic wrap over top of everything, and then on top of that I will be placing a towel. and I'm going to allow them to rest for about 40 to 45 minutes. And then once the dough is done resting, you can heat up a pan on the stove around medium-low heat. And I will also be adding butter for flavor in between, and so it's not something you have to do, but it's something that you could do. And then I place 4 pieces onto the pan, and I'm going to allow them to cook on that side for 6 to 7 minutes. And I don't have a lid, but if you have some sort of lid, place that on top. And for what I'm doing, I'm using some foil and having that placed on top. And then I will flip them, and then on the other side I will allow them to cook for 3 to 4 minutes. And then what you want to do after everything is done is set the muffins aside and let them cool down before eating them. And it doesn't say specifically how long to let them cool down, or, you know, how much of a cool down they need to be, but I think when I cut into them it may have been a little bit too early. But overall, I was very pleased with how they turned out, and I did toast them up afterwards, so I didn't really mind if it was a little bit soft in the middle. And then here I'm just going to be making some breakfast sandwiches, and this is one of my favorite ways to make them. First thing I do is add onions with butter on a pan, and I let them cook up for a little bit. And then afterwards I place the inside part of the muffin facing down, and I allow them to cook with the onions. I will then set aside the muffins and the onions and just have them placed on top. And then I will be cooking some eggs to also put on the sandwich. I also add bits of the turkey that is going to be on the sandwich as well on the pan, and just let that heat up for a little bit. And lastly, I put some cheese on the sandwiches, and then I'll put the whole sandwich back on the pan and then let the cheese melt on there. And I will also cover it as well to help the cheese melt a bit quicker. But yes, that is it, and thank you so much for watching this far. I enjoyed making these English muffins, and I hope this video was helpful. And if you want to recommend anything, go ahead and let me know. I will see you in the next video. Have a great one, and bye-bye.